Are you ready to do this?
Yes, I am.
All right, 2, 3, 4.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna
Woo! All right. It's the lottery draft video. Been doing this for a few years now. Welcome back to Fantasty Hoops Internationale Season 9 Roundball Rock. That's where it's at. Mute buttons are hard. They really are. It's hard to find a place to make it actually mute. It's gonna drive us all insane. Oh, Christ. Alright, that was a challenge. Hey, how's it going? Let's get right into it. There's a lot to do. Got some notes. This is Fantasty 9 Roundball Rock. This is the annual draft lottery video in advance of the actual draft on Saturday, October the 14th. First off, we'd like to say hello to our new and returning players. That would be in the Western Conference, Gage Wallace playing as Popovich and Sons. And that would be Nick Bell playing as Katie's Troll account. Welcome, gentlemen, new players in the league. We've also got returning to the league after an absence of something like 2 or 3 years, Aaron Stevenson, who is playing as, Big Lawler Brand. So, these 3 teams are 3 expansion teams, and so since we've been doing keepers, we need to have an expansion draft to give them similar footing to what we've got as the returning 11 owners, now that we're expanding up to 14 again, by giving them a couple of keepers. So with the expansion draft, everyone's going to protect 2 players from the keepers that they've got on their roster from last year. So by Thursday midnight Chicago time, you should communicate to me which 2 keepers you want to protect. I still need to hear from John, Kevin, Tom, Desmond, and Mark. So yeah, please, as soon as you watch this, why not let me know? You can just tell me something and then change your mind a minute later. That's fine. I just need to get something down so that I can tell the expansion fellas what their menu that they're choosing from is. You can also change from your protected players to the keepers you actually keep later, as long as they haven't been picked. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out who of Nick and Gage gets the first pick in the expansion draft. And so we'll go 1, 2, 3 on those. Inverse snaking 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And then the inverse of those picks, they will go into 7, 8, 9. So let's say Aaron gets pick 7, 8, 9 of the main draft. So let's say Aaron gets number 1 pick in the expansion draft. Then he would get the number 9 pick, not the 7 pick, in the regular draft. I'll talk more about that. Okay, so first pick in the expansion draft. This is going to go to Aaron. So Aaron, you will get the number 1 pick in the expansion draft, the number 2 pick to Nick. Gage gets the number 3 pick in the expansion draft. So what that means for the main draft is that Aaron gets the number 9 pick, Nick the 8 pick, and Gage the 7th pick overall. So running down what we've got, number 14 pick Seth, Western Conference reigning champion MF Jordan, 13 runner-up last year John, Valley Pies, Eastern Conference in the UK. Australian contingent gets picked number 12, that's Bogut Breaks, Joel, operating out of Perth, Australia. 11 pick, Dykeman, or is it Dickman? I can never remember. Park. James in New York, represent the Eastern Conference. Also represent the Eastern Conference, getting the number 10 pick in the first round. Graham Samuel Gibbons, 3-time champion out in the UK. Now, let's talk about the lottery picks. So the lottery picks are the teams that did not make last year's playoffs. And they get represented in the lottery in the ping pong balls based on how well they did, instead of tanking, how well they did in the consolation bracket last year. So with 14 entries, we have representing the Western Conference me, Matt, Golden Winery, previous champion. That's why my Swagasaurus trophy from that year is represented here. Runner-up in the consolation bracket, Eastern Conference, Thomas Loxley, Tom, playing as Glass Griffins. He gets 11 entries. Next up, we've got third place in the consolation bracket, pitted by Olives. That's Desmond Borges. In Connecticut now, is that right? Connecticut. Desmond gets 9 entries. Pitted by Olives is in the Eastern Conference. Then we've got 7 for the 1.21 gigawatts in Columbus, Ohio. That is Mark Rhodes. Yeah, what to say about him other than he's a groovy guy. And he's got 7 in the hopper. No longer Iowa hipster beers, but Minneapolis or MPLS hipster beards. Sam is in the Western Conference, the only non-Chicagoan in the Western Conference. And he gets 6, and with only 4 ping pong slips of paper, Bulls Will Eat You in all caps. That's Kevin Bensley. He is a previous champion, but last year he finished at the bottom of the league, and he gets 4 slips of paper. So here we go. This is a big hopper. It looks like a Cavaliers Team Shop box. And something that I do want to address, maybe just flag up, is the advantage of getting the #1 pick, especially in a year, you know, when there's like kind of no consensus #1, you know, Harden, KD, Towns, Russ, with all the super teams and stuff, you know, is there any like clear #1 anymore? I don't know. And then, because we do snaking order, so if I get the #1 pick, then I don't get another pick until pick number 28. Just something I want to flag up for next year's, you know, rules committee voting. Maybe we should go to a real world where, like, the #1 pick gets the #1 pick in every round. Or maybe the winner of the lottery gets to choose where they want to be. So I would say something like, hey, I would like the #6 pick. I don't know. I'm just saying the advantage to winning the lottery, how great is it? All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to pick these, and then I'm going to talk about a couple other things, just reminders before we start playing, on the 17th when the Cavs play the Celtics. All right, here we go. The #1 pick in the Fantasty 9 draft is awarded to Sam. Sam gets the #1 pick. Hipster Beards. Wow. Wasn't the best odds for him. In fact, he finished next to last in the consolation bracket. Hey, where'd that marker go? I want to write these in, kids. And yet, Sam is going to get the #1 pick. I'll show you this sheet at the end, and also I'll want to transcribe it. Great, Sam, congrats. You get the #1 pick. Who's going to be, Russ? I don't know. You've had the #1 pick before. I think the one year you took Anthony Davis, I think. Here we go. #2 pick. Repeats will be thrown out. #2 pick, Desmond. Desmond gets the #2 pick. He had the 3rd best odds, so that's not too crazy. Desmond gets the #2 pick. 3rd pick. Randomly as possible. I get the 3rd pick. Okay, so I guess my little complaining and flagging up meant that I, you know, didn't get that terrible 1 and 28 situation. All right, #4 pick. Desmond's been there already. Gonna get a paper cut on this giant box. Tom, you had the 2nd best odds, but you fell to #4. So that leaves us with just Mark and Kevin for picks #5 and 6. So here we go. Lots of repeat possibilities here. I'm looking for a Mark or a Kevin. I've got a Tom. Got another Tom. I don't know if you can see that when I hold them up. Matt. Looking for a Mark or a Kevin to finish off the lottery. Matt. Mark or Kevin to finish us off. This could take an hour. Kevin skips Mark, so Mark gets the #6 pick. Kevin gets the #5 pick. And now we are all set up from 1 to 14 with the draft. You can gaze your little peepers on it right there. That's the order of the first round. Okay, so what else to say? The draft date and time, again, it's Saturday, October 14th, 11 a.m. Chicago time, noon Eastern, 5 o'clock UK, and then I'm pretty sure midnight, where it crosses from the 14th to 15th in Perth. Dues are $30. Send them to me by PayPal if you want to do something else like cash or one of the other payment apps. Then just let me know how you'd like to do that. Half of the dues are already in. Joel, Aaron, Kevin, Tom, Desmond, Mark, and Nick. I would like $30 from you sooner so I don't have to hassle you later. The schedule is done. The balanced schedule is done. This year will be our longest regular season, 20 weeks. It's just how it worked out with the NBA schedule longer than ever, and the way that Yahoo would only let the playoff weeks start at week 21. So we'll have 20 weeks, but with the expanded league membership, it works out pretty well in that you'll play teams in every team in your conference, East or West, you'll play twice. Every team in the opposite conference you'll play once, and then one team from the opposite conference, which I selected randomly, you'll play twice. That's about it. Schedule's done. Dues are due. I've told you when the draft is. I need to hear from John, Kevin, Tom, Desmond, and Mark about who they want to protect for the keepers, and then the expansion draft will take place this weekend. We'll do it via email, so I'll email Aaron and say, hey, it's time for you to pick. He'll send me back, hey, I want this person, and then I'll email Nick and say, hey, you're up next, etc. Once that's all done, I'll share it with everyone so you know who's off the board if you want to change your keepers or whatnot. Great. Thanks for humoring me. Oh, we've moved on to the next. Oh, it's the real John Tesh playing Roundball Rock. Yeah. All right, enjoy the season, fellas. I'll be back at you soon.